Good morning. It's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Caddo Commissioner Mike Middleton is with us for a moment or two. Good morning, Mr. Mike. How are you today?
Good morning, guys, and thank you for this opportunity to talk to you this morning.
Well, you had sent us a text earlier this morning alluding to a ceremony, a celebration in some ways later today, honoring America. Will you tell us about it? Sort of the Caddo Commission pre-Memorial Day festivities, if you will. Tell us about those.
Yeah, first of all, I hope I woke up Erin. I doubt if I did.
You did. I'm good.
Yeah, right. Okay. Hey, for years downtown we had a Memorial Day program on the Friday prior to Memorial Day, and that just kind of dropped away. And we're just trying to rejuvenate that, and we're going to do that this morning at 10 o'clock on Texas Street side of the courthouse, or Texas Street entrance, I should say. It starts at 10, should finish by 10:30. But the thought on this, there's so many people, really, Memorial Day is not supposed to be a celebration. It's memorial. It's a remembrance day. And it's just gotten away from that. It's become known as the start of summer. And we just forget what we're supposed to be doing.
What are you guys going to be doing today? What's going to be there?
We're going to have a lady from the Air Force. She's going to be singing the national anthem. We're going to let Lieutenant Colonel Oliver Jenkins, is going to say a few words. And we're going to have taps, and we're going to have bagpipes. Bagpipes be playing Amazing Grace. That will conclude. We should be finished by 10:20 or so.
And that will be this morning, starting off at 10, Caddo Courthouse on the Texas Street side, correct?
That is correct. Let me also point out something else. I'm in a little meeting right now that we're looking at a Pets for Vets program that Matthew Lynn brought to the commission, and so we're meeting some folks this morning that flew in last night. And we're going to be looking at that. So we won't be really officially announcing that for a while, but we're looking to do more and more for the vets. We as the Caddo Parish Commission and it's Caddo Parish Animal Services and all. But back to today, we just ask everyone to please come down, and it's going to be beautiful weather and doing it early enough so it doesn't interfere with people's lunch hours. And we know to do it on today because on Fridays, downtown Shreveport, particularly government buildings, almost become vacant because everybody starts that 4-day weekend prior to Memorial Day. So we just want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to do it sometime.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your time.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.
You
Thanks
bet.
for what y'all do.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. He is the Louisiana Casino Association Executive Director Wade Duty talking about riverboat not expansion. Don't say expansion. He's coming up next here on Keel. Traffic update now. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Westburg Coons Industrial Loop and Kingston Road's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still keeping an eye on a major accident on I-220 eastbound near the on-ramp to I-20 westbound. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast will have a spotty afternoon thunderstorm today. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 89. Mostly cloudy and humid, low 71 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Keel app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Mr. Wade Duty is the Associate Executive Director of the Louisiana Casino Association. Hey, Mr. Wade, how are you this morning? Thank you for joining us. Welcome to
good.
Keel.
Wade, let me ask you, the new law, Senate Bill 316, allows the riverboat casinos to move 1,200 feet on land from their designated berth space. There's a lot of confusion about what that means they can do. Do they have to keep the boats in place? Do they have to have a walkway still to that old boat? What's the requirement?
No, it's an either-or proposition. First of all, it's voluntary. The boats would be choosing whether they would exercise this option. They are limited to moving no more than 1,200 feet, and that number was arrived at by looking at which boat would have to move the greatest distance to get on the dry side of a levee. So they're not relocating to the middle of a town. They're not picking up and moving 5 miles. It's just what can you move and barely get on the dry side of the levee. So that's where the 1,200 feet came from.
Do they have to keep a connection to their existing riverboat at all?
No, they do not. They would be able to construct a landside facility and transition their gaming space to that.
You know, we were looking, and the new rule is, what is it, 2,365 gaming positions. Under the current 30,000 square foot rule, what is the average number of gaming positions, and what kind of enlargement, if you will this give local casinos?
Well, despite all of the misunderstanding and sometimes deliberate misinformation, this actually is a limiting feature. So inside of 30,000 square feet, you can actually put in about 2,500 gaming positions. So what the task force did, which met for 18 months prior to this legislation being introduced, was consider what facility is currently operating the largest number of positions, and then they allowed an adjustment factor for table games, because not everybody operates the same table games or in the same manner, and they arrived at 2,365. But again, so doing the math, which is something that has eluded a lot of people, or they've chosen to let it elude them, presently you could put about 37,500 gaming positions among the 15 riverboats. This legislation will actually cap that number. Instead of 37,500, it would be 35,475. So it's actually a reduction of about 6%.
You mentioned a second ago, you mentioned purposeful misinformation. What is that, and who is doing that?
Good question, because on the Senate vote, on the Senate floor vote we saw a couple of weeks ago, someone distributed a floor note alleging that this would be a 67% expansion of gaming positions. So I think what they did was they took the number of positions currently in use, which again is not the maximum number. There is no maximum cap under existing statute until this bill became law yesterday. So they, I think they took what was in use presently and said, well, you know, this could go to an enlargement. But again, the 67% doesn't make sense no matter how you do the math. So that's where we arrived at, you know, there's been deliberate misinformation about this.
We're talking to Wade Duty, Executive Director of the Louisiana Casino Association. Wade, let's hone in on our local boats here. Let's start Shreveport. Okay. There's a lot of people who think El Dorado and Samstown are kind of landlocked and don't have a place to go. What could they move across the street to their parking garages and put their casinos there if they wished? Or
pardon me, even on the other side, because if you go 1,200 feet from the current position, if you're familiar with Shreveport, you're up to Travis Street, which is a pretty sort of deserted area. That could revitalize a lot of downtown.
Well, and that was one of the driving factors that the task force considered is, you know, the Gaming Control Board still has to approve any project. So this is not just a boats do whatever they want proposition. They're going to have to demonstrate that it's an economically viable and benefit to both the local market and the state overall. So that's something the board would take into consideration, is what's it's going to do to revitalize an existing area. You know, will a boat move? That's entirely up to the individual boats. They've got to make the economic case, because this will not be an inexpensive proposition. So if you're in a market that has faced a lot of challenges and the reinvestment does not make sense, then you may not see a move. But you're right. With respect to Shreveport, as I understand, both boats are tenants of the city, so they've got limitations physically on where they could wind up.
I mean, can you conceive a scenario where there are two brand new great big casinos in downtown Shreveport? I certainly can, huh?
It's a possibility, but again, you have to make the economic case. You know, a lot of people were very fearful, and a lot of hand-wringing occurred over, you know, there's going to be this explosion of gaming. But at the end of the day, you have 15 boats now. You're going to have 15 facilities later. They may look a little different, but if you know where the casinos are today, you're going to know where they are after they make the transition to land. So what a potential project may look like, it's too early to tell because each one of these casino companies will have to go back to their parent corporation and make the pitch to get the capital investment to make these construction projects happen. So it's going to be a multi-year process. It won't happen overnight. The Game Control Board has started working on the rule process, which is a 6-month process in itself, to fill in some of the nuts and bolts aspect of this. But yeah, you'll definitely see not committing to any specific market, but you'll definitely see tens of millions of dollars in new construction occurring with these transitions.
Is the regulatory process, you just said it's about 6 months, is that in your mind, is that a lengthy one? Is it a hasty? Is it a speedy approval process? Is there a way to make it quicker if current casinos want to build?
Not really, because again, you've got to have some time for regulators to construct a regulatory framework for this. And then the rule promulgation process is the same for any state agency. So whether you're talking about forestry or any other state, entity, they all operate under the same set of administrative rule creation. So the Game Control Board will move with, deliberate speed, but it's not going to make any hasty decisions, and they're certainly not going to get pushed into anything. They've been a very effective regulator, and they will weigh these projects. If a proposal comes to, move on land and it's going to be just a move on land, I don't look for the board to entertain that at all. They're going to want to see additional amenities, some shopping, some restaurants, some entertainment venues. It will not just be put the machines in a warehouse on land.
Let me ask you this: if you have a crystal ball, do you see a couple of the boats here in Shreveport Bossier going for this and doing this?
It's something that all the boats are going to look at. But as far as me speculating, that's an internal decision within their respective corporations. So, one of the things, again, you're going to have to look at what you've already touched on. Do they have the physical capacity to make a transition on shore, or are they so landlocked that they can't really do anything effective? So that's going to weigh heavily in this too. But keep in mind also, it's not just the getting off the water. This conversion to gaming positions and doing away with the paddle wheel helps the operator stabilize. The Shreveport market's been hit heavy by Native American gaming in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. This is a measure, even if they don't transition onto land, that will help them stabilize that local market in the face of what they've experienced since, I guess, 2005.
And Wade, one last thing, Diamond Jacks. Any news on if that license is going to leave our area and go to another community?
There was legislation filed to authorize a relocation to Tangipahoa Parish. That legislation was defeated probably by the midpoint of the session, mm-hmm. and there's nothing else that is on the horizon for that. So, it takes a legislative authorization to create a new waterway, which is what that project was looking at doing. So, absent the legislation being filed, it certainly doesn't look like anything will be taking place in 2018.
Wade Duty, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic time. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
The intersection at Line Avenue and Olive Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still looking at some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up to Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast will have a spotty afternoon thunderstorm today. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 89. Mostly cloudy and humid, low 71 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Florida rallied from a 3-0 deficit to beat LSU.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty on the way just past 8 o'clock. Special session. Is it doomed? And we'll get to the question that we dare not ask of any state official, specifically those wanting more of your money. Right now, here's Sean Hannity on KEEL.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
We lose the United States of America if we don't get to the bottom of this. You lose your liberty if government deep state actors for political purposes can favor one candidate over another candidate and work to literally undermine the candidacy of one party. And then if he wins, delegitimize that presidency and even attempt a soft coup by creating a phony story and phony narrative to delegitimize and then put the screws to people, that had nothing to do with the so-called investigation is about. So they start singing and composing whatever they need to compose that might go against the president that would lead to prosecution or impeachment. That's what this is all about.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter knew there was a smarter way, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. ZipRecruiter learns what you're looking for, identifies people with the right experience, and invites them to apply to your job. In fact, 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. And ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. They even spotlight the strongest applications you receive, so you never miss a great match. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL, AccuWeather.com forecast. Kind of sunny, a few clouds today. Hot again, low 90s. Right now, 69 at KEEL. It's 8 o'clock, and time for Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning. It's 3 past 8. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. Miss Erin, local news is next.
Talking about gambling rules in our state, that's coming up. The special session, lawmakers trying to work out that deficit. And the mailman makes a surprise visit.
There is no doubt you are markedly braver a person than am I.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know, we'll ask in a couple of seconds, if you would ask a specific question to a state official, specifically one, particularly one who wants more of your money. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all here this hour coming up on KEEL.
of information. KEEL News now.
Lawmakers kick into high gear in an attempt to shore up the budget. Administration Commissioner Jay Darden says the governor wants to renew some of the taxes that are set to expire. He says that would save education and health care.
That fix requires about $648 million, which is far less than the $1.4 billion that rolls off of the books on July 1. And
that budget gap again reportedly close to $650 million. An argument between officers ends with one on paid leave. Matt Parker with that.
Shreveport police are investigating a verbal argument between two officers. Joshua Mayfield and another officer apparently got involved in a heated exchange recently. The altercation led to Mayfield being placed on paid leave by Chief Alan Crump. A statement from the department gave no details about the alleged incident. Mayfield joined the force in 2005. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Some evacuated due to an explosion. About 30 people evacuated from their homes near Ringgold. According to reports, the evacuation was ordered after lightning hit a natural gas well and caused an explosion. Crews have since made repairs and made the area safe, so residents have returned. The Cross Bayou development takes the next step forward, but with some changes. The Shreveport Council okayed a resolution to support the mayor's authority to move forward. Now, we caught up with Paul Pratt with GDC on this move by the council.
Whatever they want to call it, we accept it as long as we're sitting down at the table and coming up with the final agreement. I think this just gets us there.
The final vote was 4-3. 2 people were tased, beaten, and robbed last night in Shreveport. Police say a man and woman were standing on Joseph Street when a man came up and tased them. The man then reportedly kicked and punched the victims while they were on the ground before stealing their belongings. So far, no arrests. You get a break on some sales taxes this weekend. You'll pay only a portion of the sales tax on storm supplies. Revenue spokesman Byron Henderson says it's a great opportunity to pick up some essentials.
Louisiana residents can buy flashlights, batteries, portable generators, and other hurricane supplies with a discount on the state sales tax.
State taxes will be reduced from the usual 5% to 3%. Sabine Parish deputies are investigating the shooting death of David Malmay. According to investigators, Malmay shot at his eventual killer first following an argument. One man was taken into custody and questioned, but was released without charges. Deputies say the 2 men were related through marriage. Despite higher gas prices, AAA estimates nearly 42 million Americans will travel this Memorial Day weekend. That's a 5% increase from last year and the highest number of travelers in more than a dozen years. Don Redmond says about 37 million travelers will be hitting the roads.
There's consumer confidence right now that this is a very robust economy, and they're traveling, even though gasoline currently is selling in Louisiana about 50 cents more per gallon than this time last year.
And about 3 million people will be flying to their destination. The NFL has muddled a divisive issue even more by announcing the players will be required to stand for the national anthem if they're on the field before games. Mudbug Madness Festival kicking off today. Lots to do for the whole family.
As a matter of fact, we kind of enhanced our children's area this year. A lot more interactive activities, and there's karaoke, and there's a little Mudbug Idol contest. So it's going to be fun.
The festival runs through Sunday. A homeless man in Philadelphia gets a dream. He got the nickname Harvard by fellow homeless folks because he was always reading. Well, now he's been accepted into Harvard on a full scholarship. He plans to study computer science. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
10 past 8 o'clock. Keel traffic for Thursday morning. Here comes Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast will have a spotty afternoon thunderstorm today. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 89. Mostly cloudy and humid, low 71 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 8:12. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. That Keel app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Okay, so here's the latest. We kind of touched on this last hour.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the latest from the recently convened special session.
Yeah.
It looks like they're doomed.
Uh-oh.
Well, let me ask you something. The Republican from Baton Rouge, Lance Harris, has offered up what he sees as a compromise. It's a third of a penny sales tax, because the full penny goes off the books. What was sold as a temporary sales tax wraps up, finishes kaput, as they say, the end of June. What Harris has offered, what's on the table, what seems to be gaining a little momentum to try to solve. Oh, by the way, the governor, Jay Darden, the John Bells, if you will, Belles, those on his side, have said that the fiscal cliff, the amount is $648 million.
Yeah.
There's a report from the House now that says it's $495 million, and that's the one that Lance Harris, Republican Baton Rouge, is trumpeting as fact.
Well, the 2 days in the special session, they've cut the budget by $100 million?
By the end of the week, we could be flush.
Let's knock it out.
So the point being, Harris has sort of, that trial balloon cliche.
Mm-hmm.
A new third of a penny sales tax that would be temporary for 5 years and would raise about $350 to $400 million. Now, do you think and I say this admiringly, do you think that what I call the contingent of no, the Dodie Hortons, the Raymond Cruz, the Alan Seabaws, and like I said, I say that with pats on the back. Do you think that is something that they, the most fiscally conservative of the House members, or others who may be inclined to, look, we got to solve this problem one way or the other. Do you think that's something, well, let me ask you, Ms. Taxpayer.
Right.
Is that something that you, if the problem would go away, is that something that you would find palatable?
I would not like it, but I could maybe stomach it. Maybe. Third of a penny. What's that, about 70 million? I could maybe.
So what's the
that.
official name? Is it because here's where the fly in the ointment is. Legislative Black Caucus, Black Legislative Caucus.
LBC.
They, although John Bell sees them as allies, they have said all along they will not vote for a sales tax increase. They want an income tax increase. John Bell has said all along they'll side with me when the rubber hits the road, so to speak.
Right.
In the end, at the end of the day, John Bell has said the Black Legislative Caucus,
Legislative Black Caucus,
I can get them. They're on my side. They'll do what I want. They're saying, no, we're not going to, no, no sales tax without an income tax increase. Now, here's what I was going to ask. Here's the question that I would not have the nerve to ask, specifically, especially of those, the governor, Jay Darden, we need more revenue that you, the citizens of Louisiana, are in our eyes not giving us enough of your money. Because they say, John Bell has said, Jay Darden has said repeatedly on this program that it's bare bones. We have cut everything we can cut. We can't get, it cannot be. We, state government of Louisiana, can't get any skinnier than we are skinny right now. Would you ask Jay Darden? Let's say Mr. Jay wants to come on Monday morning. And you say, Mr. Jay, before you go, I got one question. You say Louisiana budget is cut as much as you can cut it. But before you go, one question. What are the perks of your job?
Do you have a state car? Gas card? Meal allowance?
See, because in the real world, and I don't mind saying, you know what perks I get? The company covers half my insurance.
Yeah.
They cover half your insurance. You're a manager. They pick up your phone tab. That's basically it. That is the perks.
We get some cool tickets every now and then.
Those are the perks of being a big-time radio talk show host. Now, I know a lot of, you tell me, would you ask him that question? Would you say, Mr. J,
I have no problem
what are the
doing that.
perks of your job? What do you get? Other than the salary, what do you get?
What else is in it for you?
Yeah.
You get a clothing allowance. You get ties paid for.
I guarantee you he's driving a car.
Oh, absolutely.
Which means he's got a gas card.
You bet.
Which means he's got insurance paid for.
And he's got a meal allowance, I'm sure.
I don't know.
I'm sure he does.
But see,
he's got an expense account, trust me.
I see the purpose of meal allowance or maybe mileage for legislators who are constantly traveling to and, but Jay Darden and guys, they're living in Baton Rouge all the time. You know what? Even if Jay is on the road 1 or 2 days a week, we both know people who travel for a living who don't get a car allowance, who don't get a gas allowance, who don't get diddly, and are taking the 50-cent deduction on their federal income tax or whatever the per mileage thing is right now.
Absolutely.
So you tell me, when Jay Darden says that state budget is cut as much as it can be cut.
How about your car, Jay?
How's about everybody's car? How's about everybody's insurance? How about everybody's gas allowance? How's about everybody's meal or whatever it works out to be? Except for legislators who are traveling all the time.
Yeah.
Let's make, am I wrong? Am I ludicrous? Am I unreasonable to say that if we ran, look, it's not my statement, but it's true. We pay the people who work for us better than we pay ourselves.
Yeah.
We take care of the people who work for us better than we take care of ourselves. Am I unreasonable to say, maybe if state government worked a little bit more, maybe if the public sector worked a little bit more like the private sector, i.e. the real world, we wouldn't find ourselves in a $648 million or $495 million hole, whichever of those two numbers you believe. 19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Rubens here, traffic's latest report.
Keeping an eye right now on some backed up traffic on North Market southbound near MLK Drive. And we have some traffic delays on Green Acres Boulevard near Benton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast will have a spotty afternoon thunderstorm today. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 89. Mostly cloudy and humid, low 71 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm just Heather's Air.
Twenty-two past 8 o'clock. Here's Keel Sports. Fletch is here.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Florida rallied from a 3-0 deficit to beat LSU 4-3, sending the Tigers into the losers bracket of the SEC tournament. LSU had a golden chance in the top of the 8th inning. After the first two hitters reached base, Nick Coombs popped out at foul territory while attempting to sacrifice bunt. Bo Jordan grounded out but did move the runners over, and then with 2 outs, Jake Slaughter blistered a shot down the third base line, but SEC Player of the Year Jonathan India made a diving stop and was able to throw to first in time to get Slaughter. Mikael Hilliard gave up all 4 runs in 4 2/3 innings to take the loss. The Tigers play for their tourney survival at 1 p.m. against South Carolina, a 13-8 loser to Arkansas late last night. Northwestern State got a stellar pitching performance from Ridge Heisler in a 2-1 win over McNeese State in the first round of the Southland Conference Tournament. The Demons scored their runs in the 7th, and they'll face Southeastern Louisiana at 4 p.m. Rice leads Louisiana Tech 6-1 in the top of the 7th in Conference USA tournament action. Storms in the Biloxi area has thrown the tourney for a loop. The Bulldogs and Owls will resume their game at approximately 12:30 this afternoon after the 9 a.m. game between Charlotte and Texas San Antonio. Washington advances to their first Stanley Cup Finals since 1998 with last night's Game 7 4-0 win over the Lightning in Tampa, and Boston remains undefeated at home in the postseason with a 96-83 win over Cleveland to take a 3-2 series lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
24 past 8 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. In the 7 o'clock hour, we had a chat with Mr. Wade Duty. He is the executive director of the Louisiana Casino Association.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You are 100% right. At the end of the day, with all these new casino, you can be on land rules, they can, in fact, eventually, if they get the okay, shut the boat down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, move it out of here.
Float
it away.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's...
And give us a riverfront back.
Well, the problem... No,
put a park there.
There's no room. What are you going to put between... See, Erin's saying they can move the casinos onto land, and then they can give up the riverboat spots, and Shreveport can develop the riverfront. Where the boats are right now are right in front of two casino hotels. You're not getting that land back.
Well, you could put some retail stuff over there. You could put...
Okay, wait a second.
You could put some beautiful things on the riverfront.
I'm not arguing that, but why would they do that when they own that land? When they, meaning in this instance, Samstown and El Dorado. And you pointed this out to me because the new rule is 1,200 feet from the current boat site.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you tell them, you tell the folks, you tell the listeners what you told me.
It's a quarter of a mile. That's a quarter of a mile. That could go all the way to Spring Street.
You're up on Commerce Street. This, basically what you are telling me and what we sort of chatted about with Mr. Duty is that conceivably new casino facilities, buildings could reinvigorate. Is it Commerce Street?
Commerce Street, which runs parallel to the river.
I.e., the other side of, say, the Samstown or the El Dorado parking garage.
Yes.
Now, when we talked with Mr. Duty about this, the executive director of the Louisiana Casino Association, that's kind of where we started off, specifically with our own Shreveport's downtown casinos.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that expansion onto land happening, and when?
Something that all the boats are going to look at. But as far as me speculating, that's an internal decision within their respective corporations.
I'm
I see them all investigating it. I see them all checking it out. There's no doubt.
Well, he admitted in our conversation that the Shreveport-Bossier City casinos are being hit and hit hard by the Oklahoma tribal mega casinos.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing we asked Mr. Duty was, so if they would happen to be on land, would there be any, not necessarily rules, but what kind of regulations would you have in place for what would be in these potentially brand new buildings?
If a proposal comes to move on land and it's going to be just a move on land, I don't look for the board to entertain that at all. They're going to want to see additional amenities, some shopping, some restaurants, some entertainment venues. It will not just be put the machines in a warehouse on land.
Let us reiterate this. Let us reiterate this. What he told us was, which was my point, why would they put new retail stuff and restaurants on the riverfront side when the potential is for them to build in the other direction?
Mm-hmm.
You brought up something, too, in closing, the Diamond Jack's possible move from Bossier City situation. What is he here? What's the scuttlebutt? What are people saying behind the scenes? Is there anything new?
There was legislation filed to authorize a relocation to Tangipahoa Parish. That legislation was defeated probably by the midpoint of the session, and there's nothing else that is on the horizon for that. So, it takes a legislative authorization to create a new waterway, which is what that project was looking at doing.
I just saw a light bulb go off over your head so bright it's burning my eyes.
Something just hit me.
What's that?
The butts in seats.
2365.
2365. This means they could put one slot machine there, one slot machine there, 10 feet apart.
Why would they do that?
And make a huge gambling space.
No, he mentioned to us that there's going to be, I think it was 38,000. There is, despite what you hear, a square footage limit also.
There is still a square footage
limit. I think he said it was 38,000. I don't remember the exact number.
Okay.
But remember, they want the reason, and this goes back to Ronnie Jones, the reason the head of the State Gaming Control Board.
The slot machines are bigger. I get
that. They're bigger, and you want more slot. Look, I've said this 1,000 times. The odds are best. The odds favor the house on slot machines.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason there's 3 craps tables and a billion slots machines. Your odds of winning are best if you play craps.
Right.
There's 3 craps tables, there's 1,000 slot machines.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
I wonder which ones are going to pull the trigger first to build.
29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Local news next. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Highland Avenue and Olive Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Traffic Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast will have a spotty afternoon thunderstorm today. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 89. Mostly cloudy and humid, low 71 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Some people evacuated due to an explosion. Matt Parker has that story.
About 30 people were evacuated from their homes near Ringgold Wednesday night. According to reports, the evacuation was ordered after lightning hit a natural gas well and caused an explosion. Crews have since made repairs and made the area safe so residents can return home. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Shreveport police investigating a verbal argument between 2 officers. Joshua Mayfield and another officer apparently got involved in a heated exchange. The altercation led to Mayfield being placed on paid leave by the chief. No details have been given about the alleged incident. Darian Miles, the teenager who was shot at by Police Chief Alan Crump last year, has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for auto theft. The guilty plea means that the chief will not have to testify about the arrest and what led him to fire shots at Miles. The mailman makes a surprise delivery in Shreveport. NBA legend and Louisiana Tech alum Carl Malone stopped by the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club to talk with the children. Malone talked about the importance of school, family, and being respectful. The special session rolling along with lawmakers struggling to find a fix to the budget shortfall. It could devastate health care and higher education. Jay Darden says the clock is running out on an opportunity to save the budget.
Frankly, if we're not successful in this special session, we only have about 3 weeks left in the current fiscal year, and we'll be back here in another special session, no doubt, to try and address this.
$1.4 billion in sales taxes are set to expire, and the governor has called on lawmakers to renew a portion of that to fix our finances. The Cross Bayou development takes the next step forward, but with some changes. The Shreveport Council okayed a resolution to support the mayor's authority to move forward. Councilman Michael Corbin says it's all very confusing.
I think if you ask all 7 council members what happened yesterday, my fear is you may get 4 or 5 different versions of what happened.
Now, Paul Pratt with GDC tells KEEL News this is a step in the right direction.
We're not concerned. We just know that, we're further along the process than we were a few weeks ago. And if the mayor decides she wants to take the lead, and it's clear that she doesn't, or the council wants to take the lead, we just know that we got to do something.
Pratt says he's still optimistic they can break ground on the municipal component of the development in 18 months. Sabine Parish deputies investigating the shooting death of David Malmay. According to investigators, Malmay shot at his eventual killer first, following an argument. One man was taken into custody and questioned, but was released. Another Super Bowl for New Orleans. The Dome will be home for the game in 2024. New Orleans Sports Foundation President Jay Cicero says the NFL used to have multiple teams bidding for one Super Bowl, but they changed the bidding process because
there were cities that are losing against new stadium cities, and that's a little bit of an embarrassment to the team owners of the losing cities as well as the elected officials.
While we're talking about the NFL, a newly announced NFL policy requires players to stand for the national anthem. Football fan Evan Adler says the players brought up serious issues by taking a knee, and that shouldn't be dismissed.
I understand the NFL is its own entity, but for you to make a statement like that and to stop, men from speaking their voice of something that's really, a lot of injustice that's happening, then you should be paying more attention to that.
The league says when the national anthem is playing, players have to stand while on the field, or they have to stay in the locker room until it's over. Mudbug Madness kicking off today, and the highlight, of course, the mudbugs.
About 80,000 pounds of crawfish over 4 days. And then, of course, there's crawfish etouffee, there's fried crawfish po' boys, there's crawfish made up in every way.
Terry Matthews says the children's area has been expanded this year, and the musical lineup is quite special, too. This will make you wonder, what were they thinking? A priest caught two people getting busy under the statue of the Virgin Mary at a Catholic church in New Jersey. The couple now facing lewdness charges. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Tell you what, let's go to a quick break here. When we come back, a replay of the 6 o'clock hour chat with Senator Bill Cassidy.
Yeah, he's got an idea on how to pay to build the wall.
Before we go to break, Matt, read the text we got, the post we got, the response on the KEEL Facebook page about the casino expansion. I thought that was pretty good. Have you got it right in front of you?
I don't, but basically someone suggested, what about the old Expo Hall right across from, what is that, Sam's Town?
Expo Hall / movie studio.
Brilliant idea.
Not bad at all. It's going to be a very interesting next 12 months.
Or Cyport if it doesn't come back.
In the Shreveport-Bossier, or the dog park, or the Shreveport-Bossier.
That's too far away.
Casino business. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some backed-up traffic on North Market southbound near MLK Drive. And we have some traffic delays on Green Acres Boulevard near Benton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast will have a spotty afternoon thunderstorm today. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 89. Mostly cloudy and humid, low 71 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
You ask me this every time. I put it in for Matt. Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros.
What the heck?
Oh, they're awesome.
Okay.
Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros.
All right.
Go look on YouTube and look at a couple of their Letterman appearances. It's incredible. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 6 o'clock hour earlier this morning. Talk with Senator Bill Cassidy, covered a lot of topics. Among them, he's got a plan. He's saying, when we confiscate this money from these drug cartels, since ICE is starting to hammer down on these fellas, since the border is getting a little stricter under the Trump administration, he has a plan for what to do with these confiscated dollars, and that's kind of where we started off. Tell us about your plan. Tell us what you want to do with the money.
So cartels move about $110 billion, that's with a B, $billion from the United States down to Mexico every year. Our government gets about $7 billion of it. So one, we can do a lot better than we're doing. My office is going a deep, deep dive. How do we make it so that we do get more? Think about it. This is not the supply of drugs. This is not the demand for drugs. This is the financing of the drug trade. If you take out the financing, the deal doesn't happen. So we think it's got lots of good things about it.
So what would you do with all that money?
It's the border wall money, right?
Secure the border. Why not? If that's where the drugs are coming across, make it harder for the drugs to come across.
But the money's being used somewhere now. Who would we be taking it from?
So the $7 billion now is used by Homeland Security. What I would propose is that we bond it out so that, we do that in Louisiana. We have unclaimed property that we know any given year we're going to have a certain amount, and people never claim it. And so we bond it out, and we do things like complete I-49 North. And so if we could bond this out, as we do in Louisiana, you would have an income stream, and you don't have to take all $7 billion, do $3 billion, but bond it out so that you can begin working on securing our southern border so that we can keep drugs from coming into our country.
So the point being, when I said at the beginning of the interview, well, who could ever be against something like that? If you want to designate the money for border security, obviously every Democrat in the Senate.
Yes, as a rule, they don't want Trump to have a victory, even if it's a good victory, even if it secures our southern border against the influx of drugs. And so they're going to find some reason to object, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't attempt to do it.
Let me switch gears to something I know you're passionate about, and I'm on this like a cat on whatever they get on.
Catnip.
Yeah, catnip. Drug prices have gone through the roof. The president has a plan. I think you're on board. What does it entail, and how soon is it going to help my pocketbook?
So we're doing this hand in glove. So some of the proposals we've come up with, they've come up with, and some of them they've come up with, we're kind of echoing in our legislation. One, for example, what is called the gag clause. You go to your pharmacist. He can look at the price you're paying for the drug and knows it's cheaper for you to pay cash than it would be to go through your insurance. Your deductible is higher than the cash price. By contract with some pharmacy benefit managers, those are the middlemen, if you will, the middlemen. By contract, he or she is not allowed to tell you could save money by paying cash, because otherwise the pharmacy would lose their contract with the pharmacy benefit manager.
How silly is that?
We want to make that illegal. And that would, as soon as that law passes, those provisions will be void, and your price for drugs will begin to decrease.
But don't we have some blame here on the manufacturers? When we hear about the EpiPen and the others, that the prices are they're just sucking cash from us. How do we address that too?
There's a medicine out there called Duexis. And it costs $2,300 a month. And Duexis is a combination of over-the-counter Motrin and over-the-counter Pepcid.
Oh my gosh!
If you bought them both over-the-counter, you would pay $20 a month. But if you pay list price, you pay $2,300 a month.
How are they getting away with this, and why are they doing this to Americans?
Well, what they do is they give the patient a coupon, so their initial out-of-pocket is covered by the coupon. But then they get into their insurance they go beyond their deductible, if you will, at which point the insurance is paying for it. But the insurance is you and me. If we're paying $2,300 for a drug that we could only pay $20 for, our insurance rates go up. Now, we may not realize it, but our insurance rates are going up. Americans shouldn't be paying $2,300 for a drug that costs you $20 over the counter.
That is absolutely incredible. One last thing, our final minute. You want senators, congressmen to work on weekends? What is going in? What is wrong with you?
You know, Democrats have slowed Trump's appointments so much that at this rate, we'll be through with his appointments 9 years from now. Now think about it.
Yeah.
The guy's elected for a 4-year term. It takes 9 years to get everything done. We have a budget, and Chuck Schumer is kind of the way he does things is he just waits until the last minute, at which point he has all the strength in the world, and then they start dealing. That's not the way to do business. So what we're proposing is that if Democrats continue to stall, work weekends, work August recess. Frankly, I'd rather be in Louisiana. I'd rather be touring the state. But if that's what it takes to get Trump's appointees in, to get our budget passed on time, let's do it.
This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEELnews.com.
The intersection at Highland Avenue and Olive Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Traffic Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today. A shower or thunderstorm around for this afternoon. High 89. Plenty of clouds. Low 71 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
The NFL has announced its new policy about the national anthem at games for this upcoming season. Anyone employed by the team or the league is required to stand for the national anthem when it is played if they are outside of the locker room.
And now, New York Jets chairman and CEO says he will pay any fines assessed to his players should they decide to kneel outside of the locker room during the playing of the national anthem. He says there are some big complicated issues that we're all struggling with, and our players are on the front lines.
Actually, they're not. There are a couple of NFL players that gave up their $1 million contracts to serve on the front lines. One of them was Pat Tillman, and he died for the cause.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
You know, it's been such a busy week. Local stuff from Cross Bayou and the special session down in Baton Rouge. We did not have a chance this morning to talk about the NFL, the new national anthem rule.
Or Wynton Marsalis either.
Okay, well, let's cover the national anthem first.
Okay.
Basically, and see if I've got this right, Parky, that the NFL, Roger Goodell, has said that, okay, if you're not going to stand for the national anthem, you got to stay in the locker room.
Stay in the locker room. If you're on the field, you must stand.
Here's the deal, and I was a little disappointed to see that the fines seem to be rather minimal. In fact, they're talking about if you disrespect the flag, your team could be penalized. Remember when we talked about this a while back, and it was the ESPN, it was the ESPYs show, and it was Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, and who else was in that trinity of guys that came out on stage?
Carmelo Anthony.
Yes, and they said that athletes need to be more socially involved and socially aware and willing to take a stand. And I'm saying, wait a second. If you take a knee, if you guys protest whatever it is you protest, there's nothing punitive happens. You're not penalized. You don't suffer. In fact, you are hailed as a hero in the mostly left-leaning media. Left-leaning media meant that too.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If the guys who are protesting the anthem have a hair anywhere, and this means anything to them, if they are willing, then now is the time to go out there and take a knee when you could be punished, when your team could pay a price.
And it's going to cost you a little bit.
That's the whole point. And we had talked about before, Muhammad Ali, think what you want about his not willing to serve in the military, but it cost him 3.5 years.
Oh, absolutely.
He was willing to pay the price. John Carlos and Tommy Smith, the fist,
bet.
The gloved black gloves at the Olympics in, I think it was 68, banned for life.
Cost them huge.
So, which NFL player is going to man up and really stand up for what he believes in, and really take a stand, take a knee
during the national anthem,
now that he could pay a financial price?
It's going to cost you now, bucko.
I would bet they'll all be standing. Back Monday morning. No, wait, it's not Friday.
It's not. We're back tomorrow.
Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Kim Commando.
What I'm about to tell you is hard to believe. If you have kids who play video games, or even if you don't, listen carefully. Kim Commander with your Thursday Consumer Tech Update. There's a popular American video game creator by the name of Valve Corporation. It was created by a group of former Microsoft employees. All the kids know about Valve and its website Steam that sells and distributes games. Unless things change on June the 6th, Steam and Valve will begin selling what it calls a school shooting simulator video game. You heard me right. The game's creator says that the object of the game is to, and I'm quoting them now, slaughter as many civilians as possible in a school environment. They say it includes 3D models of children to shoot at. Now, the game is realistic, impressive. To somehow justify all of this, there is a disclaimer. This game is only meant to be a simulation, so don't take it seriously. Don't take it seriously? Remember Valve and Steam the next time you hear about the next mass shooting. I'm Kim Commando. It's vital to protect your home and family with a home security system without sacrificing your privacy. That's what I love about SimpliSafe. You'll get an HD camera that you control from your phone. You'll see what's going on when you're away, which is great. But what about your camera and your privacy when you're at home? SimpliSafe has a solution. When the camera's on, you'll see a small indicator light. When it's off, so is the light. SimpliSafe designed this camera with a privacy shutter. When you hear it click, you know the shutter's closed. Even the world's best hacker can't see through SimpliSafe's thin, lightweight aluminum privacy camera shutter. It works every time. It's details like these that set SimpliSafe apart as the best security system for your home, your family, your peace of mind, and your personal privacy. SimpliSafe isn't just home security, it's home security done right. So check out SimpliSafe for yourself today at simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com, simplysafekim.com.
1017 FM and 710 KEEL, the place to get in-depth coverage of the stories that matter.
This is Shreveport City Councilman Jeff Everson, and I love listening to Robert and Erin in the morning. They keep our community knowing about the important decisions that are being made, and they're a lot of fun to listen to.
We are KEEL, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Keeping an eye right now on some backed up traffic on North Market southbound near MLK Drive. And we have some traffic delays on Green Acres Boulevard near Benton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today. A shower or thunderstorm around for this afternoon. High 89. Plenty of clouds. Low 71 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.